Monday?
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to this first meeting of November. Mayor Bridge is out of town on business, and CEO Clerk White is on vacation, so you're stuck with Gordon and I tonight, this afternoon. And I'd like to thank the press for coming, even though they're not paying attention.
They're still not paying attention.
Look at this. He's an argument over the price of paper.
I think we won't start the meeting until they're finished.
If they're gonna fight, I'll be the referee.
All right, anyway, let's move into the business portion of the meeting, and hopefully they'll sort out their differences.
Someone got a raise.
Any disclosure of pecuniary interests under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Seeing none. Minutes of the previous meeting? Any comments or questions, concerns? I have one on the scanned email. Talks about 10 McMeekins. I think one's probably enough. So we'll change that, I guess, will we? And anything else that catches anybody's attention with respect to the minutes of the previous meeting? Okay, if not, moved by Councillor Caldwell, second by Councillor Turton, that the minutes of the October 21st, 2014 council meeting be approved as circulated. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Additional items disclosed as other business. Anyone that wishes to bring something up at the end of the meeting?
Nothing.
No?
Not yet, anyway.
We're good here too?
I might have one.
You might? You're gonna think about it? Okay, you give it some thought.
Thank you.
As the mayor says, we've always got room for new ones, so we'll fit you in. All right. Moved by Councillor Hembley, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that the town of Minto convenes into the committee of the whole. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Public meeting, we don't have any. Delegations, we don't have any. Public question period.
Well, here we go. Let's have it, boys. Did a lot of talking over there. What's the questions?
We sorted it out.
Oh,
Okay, well, we're happy to hear that.
Got one date.
Correspondence, received for information requiring the direction of council. We have the e-agenda, Randy Pettipiece. And then the scanned and emailed correspondence, Ministry of Citizenship, Honorable Michael Chan, regarding the June Callwood Outstanding Achievement Award for volunteerism in Ontario, and the town of Bancroft OPP billing in unorganized townships. Any comments or concerns there?
We did chat a bit at our department heads about some possible nominees, so if
okay.
any council would like to send them on, we just came up with a couple of names, possibly,
So it has to be approved by council?
yeah, or suggested, yeah.
Okay.
One was the Palmerston Lions Club, for one.
Okay.
Another was Laverne Stinson, who's on the Ag Society, and the Cancer Society, United Church, the theater. So if anyone has any other suggestions or ideas, or thinks those are good choices,
So then, who takes it from here then?
we can.
You'll write a letter?
Yeah,
or
we can fill out.
Send an email or whatever? So
The Arts Council won this award probably about 5 or 6 years ago. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So do we want to make a motion then to that effect, that we support those two nominations?
Or
What's
we
the
could,
closing
but
date? What's the deadline?
December the 5th, so we have some
I'm
time.
doing the 17th, if any more come in then, or?
Yeah.
What are we thinking, Derek?
No, that's fine, yeah, whatever.
That'd be fine, yeah. Yeah, think of anyone or someone suggest a name to you?
Okay, well then keep that in mind. I guess if there's any other nominations, then bring them forward at the next meeting. Councillor Caldwell.
Can I just ask how many we can nominate? Is it more than one or is it just one?
473.
I believe you can send in as many nominations as you like. It goes to like a review committee, and then they decide how many. Sometimes they only award, one or two. Sometimes they don't award any. A relatively new award, but it's hard to get, for sure.
Okay, anything else? I just wondered if we should maybe give some thought to the town of Bancroft, OPP billing of unorganized townships. My understanding of, their resolution is that there are, I guess, townships in the province that don't have councils or aren't organized, but they still require police services. And the rest of us are basically paying for that police service, even though they're using it. So my personal opinion, in all fairness, I think everybody should be paying accordingly, and that's basically what this resolution is, that the unorganized townships be paying as well as the rest of us.
I'll support you on that one.
Councillor Hembley, make a motion?
A second.
Sure.
So they would be county, it would be county run, the same as ours?
No, up in northern Ontario, some of them, they don't have a county, they don't have a region or anything. It's called like an unorganized place. I know one community was that you have like the town of Kenora, and then right next door you have unorganized. So they don't pay property taxes exactly, they pay like an equivalent directly to the province for municipal services. But it's an unorganized area.
So this equivalent that they pay would increase based on this OPP, is that the idea?
That would be one of the ideas that the township of Killarney and Bancroft is encouraging, yes.
Like, so what they do, sort of remember,
Go ahead.
they do like per capita, what it costs per person per capita in that area, well, they would, if we build the dollar or whatever it
I
costs.
guess-
them.
Directly to the taxpayers,
That's
though.
not the thing.
$203 per
Per
household.
province.
Right,
Yeah.
no.
It's too bad that Councillor Faulkner isn't here. He probably would be
He
able to
would
give us
deal
more
with that.
information on that. Anyway, we have a motion.
Or did you want to do that when
Well, it doesn't matter to
you
me.
need more information? Would you rather wait till the 17th?
What is the time, do we know the timing?
I don't think there is.
There's
any.
no
It's just-
timing. This is just if you want to
I hate
support their
deferring stuff, but
resolution.
If you think that Ron can help us out a little bit on it.
Well, he would be able to explain, I guess, how it works as far as policing.
Well, yeah, policing.
Can we bring that up then, Gord?
Yeah, we'll bring it forward for the next one. Yeah,
So that'll be on the agenda or
sure.
the correspondence, whatever, for next meeting.
Yeah, we'll put it on for that one.
So in fact, they've never paid for policing.
Well, it doesn't sound like it. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
like
not
they
involved with
pay a
that.
flat fee, but does it
Does that include
incorporate
that?
enough, right?
Okay, thanks for that. We'll move on.
Thanks for nothing.
And
Reports of
we should
committees.
have a motion just to
Yes.
accept the correspondence.
Okay.
so.
David? Councillor Hembley?
Okay.
All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Great.
Reports, committees, town staff. Committee report minutes. Maitland Valley Conservation Authority, there's 2 sets of minutes.
I guess you would have been at those
Well, I
meetings,
was at those
anything?
meetings, yeah. If you have any questions, I
Anything?
would try and answer them.
Okay, we should have a motion to accept the minutes then.
I have a motion to accept the Maitland Valley Conservation Authority minutes. Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Caldwell. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Launch it, committee minutes, October 9, 2014. Carissa?
Where's that?
Okay, these are the launch it minutes from October 9th. So the tenancy subcommittee for launch it met with an applicant. I believe I spoke last meeting that we did have an applicant, an incubator applicant for our space, and the subcommittee met and they did approve that applicant, so then it moved on to the board, and the board thought that they would be a good fit. The only thing is, because this individual is a registered massage therapist, it would be an increase of traffic. The other thing is their hours would be outside of regular business hours, and if there were any meetings or anything going on in the boardroom, they might have to utilize the back door, which would require us likely to maybe fix up the back door a little bit, make it a little more appealing, put a sign back there, maybe a plant, something that just makes it a little more appealing to the public. Also kind of raise some security issues so that we know who's coming in and out of the building at all times. So a little more up to date than these minutes. We have offered the individual tenancy. They have not yet accepted. They're actually also looking at a storefront in Palmerston, which really would be just as good for us as well if they were able to take a storefront in Palmerston. So, and also the Minto Chamber approved last night that I know one of the benefits that this individual really wanted was the business excellence program and the chamber membership that would come along with the tenancy at Launch It. But the Minto Chamber approved last night at their meeting that any brand new businesses would receive a 1-year membership for free. So that would be a really great positive for this individual and would really help him move along too if he did decide to just take the storefront in Palmerston as well. So really kind of a win-win either way for us, but we don't know his final decision at this point. We hosted our Creative Entrepreneurship Conference on October 20th. In honor of Small Business Week. It was a great success. We had really positive reviews from it. Our speakers were all really great. And we came in under budget. Everything was really wonderful. So we're now looking at hosting another event similar to this, hopefully again next year. So it was a really good project that we'd like to repeat in the future. Probably change the format a little bit, but it was really good. Also, the Wellington County Business Resource Breakfast is taking place in Fergus on Wednesday, November 19th. Launch It will have a table there, and we have been given the opportunity to speak about our services there that day as well. So that'll be a nice promotional opportunity for us, so we'll be there.
Any questions for Carissa? I just would note here that it sounds like you're being overworked.
We're a little busy.
So is there any solution in place or
It's-
being discussed? Or?
It's still, yes, being discussed. It's still kind of something that's being worked through. I know I actually had to miss the chamber meeting last night, but I received word that it kind of came up in the chamber meeting as well, since my position is split. So I know both boards are kind of trying to work together to develop a solution.
So would your workload be 50-50, or what would the split be?
No, that's one of the things that I'm working on right now, is keeping better track of my time to make sure that I'm keeping track of how much time I'm spending on chamber work, Savor the Flavors work, as well as incubator work, so that we know going down the road where my time is being allotted.
Great. Can you give us a percentage of, those are your three main, give us a breakdown there?
It's, the thing with the chamber is it comes in spurts. So we have our Business Achievement Awards that take up a lot of my time at that time of the year. And then at the time that we have, say, the barbecue or the holiday social or membership time, those times take up. So it's hard. Right now, I know how it's supposed to be is 1/3 of my time is going to the chamber, and then 2/3 of my time are for Launch It. And then Savor is kind of, I don't know what the percentage is for
Part of the
Savor,
chamber.
but yeah, so. That's,
Okay, well, don't overdo it.
Yes. I've got some time booked off for Christmas time, so that'll be good.
Whoa, whoa,
You
whoa.
can leave early on the
Hold on right there.
One day, I hope.
Don't you have a condo in Miami you could rent her?
Perfect. I'm glad we had this chat.
Thanks, Krista.
motion on these minutes.
Yes. Could we have a motion to accept the Launchit minutes? Counselor Turton, Counselor Elliott, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Thank you. Prac minutes.
Oh, here we
Yeah.
go.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Fisk. So this is just a recap of Parks and Rec meeting on October the 20th at the Palmerston Lions Clubhouse. It's a great little spot to have a meeting. The Lions have done some great work in there, and yeah, glad to be in Palmerston for this one. Just with respect to council follow-up, public skating sponsorship has gone really well this year in Palmerston, Harriston, and Clifford. 100% sponsored by local businesses, groups, and service clubs, so it's at no charge to any of the attendees, which is great. It's a no-cost recreational opportunity, and we've been advertising that on our Facebook page every Friday, being that skating is in Palmerston Fridays and then in Harriston and Clifford on Sundays. So that's going really well to date. With respect to the Norgan Theatre, we had Jersey Beat in there on Thursday, October the 16th. We had about 150 people in attendance, and I felt they put on a really good show. It'd be nice to bring a group like that back again, if not the same group, a similar type of act. That being said, we do have Canadian Country Christmas coming to the Norgan Theatre again on Thursday, November the 27th. That's an 8 o'clock show, and last year it sold out about 10 days prior to the event, so tickets are $25, and they're available here if you'd like to buy some. With respect to our recreation programs, grassroots hockey began on October the 19th. There's been a considerable increase in the number of attendees. We have about 25 kids signed up right now. Bill Raynard, who is a member of the Clifford Rec Association, as well as the Parks and Rec Committee here, is the head coach, and he's done a great job for the first 3 weeks of teaching a lot of the basics. Another program that we got a little bit of media coverage on was the grassroots basketball program in Norwell, Tuesday nights. We have about 10 kids. That's a great number to work with. Not too few, not too many, and Aaron Bridge is doing a wonderful job. This is his 4th time doing it, and he's completely volunteering, so it's wonderful. Something else worth mentioning is just looking into credit card payment options moving forward. That's something I think not just recreation, but all departments, we're going to take a look at what it might take to incorporate that into some of the services we provide, and giving people more options in order to pay for things. A perfect example would be the Norgan Theatre. Currently, right now, if someone wanted tickets for Country Christmas, they would have to buy them at one of our outlets locally. Someone from out of town would have to basically go to the theater the night of and hope that there were tickets available. So for stuff like that, we're taking a look, and then hopefully we can put something together. With respect to facilities, the light poles in Clifford have been installed, which is great. That project's moving forward quite well with the new ball field. Over in Palmerston, the Norwell Geography Department is going to be offering a hockey/geography course, which is really neat sounding. It's definitely a go, and it'll be, I believe, Mr. Israel and Mr. Miller that'll be running that program. We're going to work with them this year and see how it goes. If it succeeds and we can incorporate this into future school and ice seasons, then we'll work out an arrangement for an appropriate amount of rent to charge.
Just sort of a comment on that. It kind of, I saw Councillor Turton kind of giggle about it, but it's done in another community, I think, in Wellington County. I think there's one that does have it. And one of the thoughts about the school is fitness for kids. And they also thought with enrollment, the more different avenues that students would have to be able to come to their school is important too. So they feel that it's something, I think it's, right now would be grade 10s, yeah, I believe, because that's
Yeah,
geography.
as far as I know, it's a grade 10 course.
Yeah, and they may be able to move it to grade 11 the following year or something, so that's, and they're maybe even offering the geography class right at the arena. So they would be sharing the ice time and, so, you know, I think it's a good idea, and we've got perfect people for running it. Very professional and very good
Easy,
job.
the miles are good.
And to them, I know they run the Norwell hockey team, to them, school's first. And if somebody fails in a class or is down, they're off the team. So this geography will be important to make it work too for them, so.
It sounds quite interesting and
Yeah.
unique. Something I kind of wish was available when I was in grade
Yeah.
10.
Is that 5 years ago, what's going on?
Maybe a few more than 5 years ago, but I do know Councillor Elliott did bring to council's attention, there have been some vandalism issues at the Railway Museum in Palmerston, and that some measures to counteract that are being pursued, possibly with the purchase of some security cameras through the 2015 budget, but that'll be something to consider for next year. I know
Well-
the OPP have been notified.
Yeah,
and
the Lions already have, we put cameras in to start, so it's a start, kickoff. We started doing our share, but
It's unfortunate, but hopefully with some of these measures put in place, that'll come to an end. Another program that we're going to be starting up in Clifford this upcoming Monday, November the 10th at 3 o'clock is Huff and Puff Hockey. That's more geared towards older adults. And again, it's just a nice time that's hard to sell is you know, anything before 5 o'clock on a weekday. So we're gonna give this a go and see if we can get some people out and playing hockey. And
So like, is 50 good age to do this Huff and Puff thing?
Well, you said older guys.
Or older than that? No, so I can't play.
I think that
Nobody's-
ideally it'd be 35 plus. So
Oh,
Whoa, that's pretty Huff and Puff and young.
we'll see how it goes, but again, it's just, it's something worth trying to try and make a few dollars during our downtime. And just finally, with respect to the Palmerston Skating Club, I believe I reported a month ago that there is no program there this year, and that something we discussed at Parks and Rec is helping cover the cost of the affiliation fee for them, just to buy some time and keep all of the options open on the table for next year. Should they officially fold now, it would be almost impossible for them to start up again next year as the Palmerston Skating Club. But if they were to, or if PRAC were to step in and pay the affiliation fee, then if a new executive can be formed, they can basically put on a full program next year and not have to worry about all of the things that you would need to do to be reinstated with Skate Canada. So we'll see how that goes.
Councillor Hemley.
For you, Terry, what's the fee?
$250.
Makes it cheap to keep that.
And that's basically a 1 year only. You can basically go into dormancy. So if it's still not too late to do that, then that's something we're gonna pursue for the skating club. And again, it's just to buy time and keep all options on the table. And then finally, we replace one member of Parks and Rec every year from the community, and we're currently seeking out a Clifford rep. That's about it. Any questions?
Councillor Caldwell.
Through you, Deputy Mayor, or Mayor, Deputy Mayor. Is, Matt, I just wanted to ask, one other option you might want to look into with credit cards is PayPal. Have you checked it at all? I don't know if their rates are high. I know the chamber uses them for Savor the Flavor tickets and things like that people can pay, and it's very secure and.
Yeah, through Deputy Mayor Fisk, it was actually in conversation with Carissa that she mentioned that system is in place, and I do know that I've used PayPal before, and you can pay by credit card basically through their service for things, and
Oh, you can pay by credit card as well?
through
Okay.
PayPal,
Yeah,
yes.
that was easier.
That was something
Yeah.
that sort of struck me as that could be a definite option moving forward.
Yeah, the new owners of Keystone, they have a system, and Matt and I are gonna try and look into and compare it with PayPal and just see, and we want minimal cost to the town and easy.
That's correct.
That was gonna be my question. We're probably looking to put the fee back on the person that would order the tickets. So if the tickets were $100 and it was $5 to get that, the $5 would be $105 then for them, and it would cost us nothing. That's
That's what we gotta get
I know that's what our treasurer would love. Instead of putting it, if people were gonna pay bills, for example, it would cost us a lot of money over the years to pay somebody else to collect it for us, so. Even though it's a convenience, so we're, in recreation at least, we were looking, hoping there, Matt was hoping to look for something that would be more user-paid.
And just one last plug here, the chamber just signed an agreement with First Data for reduced credit card fees for chamber members. And obviously, the town of Minto is a chamber member, so I just brought that out to one of my clients today, as a matter of fact, and it was like 1.55% for Visa, which,
Have my credit card back for it? My town credit card.
so that's another area to look into as well, that you might want to discuss with this.
Certainly, appreciate that.
Anything else? I have a couple things, Matt. You make mention here about not purchasing extended warranty for the projector. Is that just a comment, or is there an issue there, or?
Yeah, with respect to the Norgan Theatre digital projector, it came with a 2-year warranty, and that expired in September of this year. And basically, the manufacturer sets a rate, whether you're a 3-show a weekend operation like we are, or if you're running the projector for 8 hours a day, every day in the city. So the cost, you had to lock into a 5-year deal at $2,200 per year. So that'd be $11,000 over 5 years. And just in discussions with some local theater owners in the area, I don't think any of them are pursuing the extended warranty. They're basically just gonna self-insure and keep some money aside should anything come up. On another note, a lot of the new equipment now that's been out for a couple years, there's parts on the market. So a lot of the repair costs are also coming down. So when you weigh the cost of the extended warranty versus what your worst case scenario might be in terms of a fix, it didn't make any sense at that time to pursue the extended warranty.
So is there regular maintenance for something like this, or is it?
Yes, what we do is we have an agreement with the company we bought the projector from, so they not only sell it, but they service it. They come up twice a year, and basically we've partnered with Hanover and Goderich and Port Elgin, that they come up to this area and service all 3 of our theaters, and that cuts down on travel costs and whatnot. So they are here semi-annually to make sure everything's running properly.
The other thing is, the 81's game was rescheduled to Mount Forest. Was that a booking issue, or from November 1st?
As far as I know, it wasn't a booking issue. I'm not quite sure why the game was relocated to Mount Forest. It may have been more financially appealing to the club. There might have been something happening in Mount Forest, but it wasn't a booking issue at the Palmerston Arena.
So do you think they're trying to attract that team out of our area or to that area?
I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that there are a few players from Mount Forest on the team. So I'm not 100% sure why. They did move a playoff game there during last season.
Yeah.
I think part of that had to do with their opponent, which was Durham, and there was a large number of fans that made the drive from Durham to Mount Forest that may not have necessarily made the drive all the way down to Palmerston for that one game.
And I just have one other thing, the Hairston Curling Club roof, what's the status of it? Is it okay now, or still an issue?
I don't know if I want to go on camera. I would have to double check with facilities manager Carr. I believe the Minto Fire Department did a flood test. I didn't hear anything negative. I haven't heard anything positive about how it went. But I do recall that they found a couple of things in the spring of this year that weren't right, and they were supposed to be repaired, and the flood test was supposed to confirm that. I believe they just did that last week, but I'd forgotten to ask how it went. But I can certainly check into that and report back.
Sure.
I know on one flood test they did find a leak again. And, you got that email too? And they did find a leak, but they were going to they were gonna leave the water there and bring the engineers up to have a look again to see, to show them where that water was going in and have them do it again. So it's still, I don't know whether that was last week's or
100% sure.
maybe last week was the second round.
Okay,
Everything was gone.
anything else, then? We have a motion to, yeah, just a motion to approve the PrAC minutes. Counselor Turton, second by Counselor Elliott. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Staff reports. I guess that'll be you, Gord.
This was brought up before too. It's a matter that the County of Bruce and their planning department is, I guess, deregistering some of their locally significant wetlands, and it's up, like downstream from us. So Minto doesn't have a direct interest, but it was interesting. I think the deputy mayor and myself and their CEO reviewed a lot of the comments, and a lot of them were not too positive. And CBO Kuipers, I know, has looked into it as well.
Yeah, I took a look at things, and basically what they're doing, as Gord mentioned, is removing the designation of locally significant wetland out of their official plan. Those areas still will have a hazard designation to it, so it's not like you wipe out blue and suddenly you can plop a house in there. So it's still going to restrict development in those areas. I read a whole bunch of the Conservation Authority reports, and including that Niagara Escarpment, and none of them are in favor of it, as well as a couple of the First Nation groups up in Bruce County. So from my reading of it, Bruce County has an uphill battle in order to get this approved.
Councilor Caldwell.
Through you, Deputy Mayor, why would they want it? Why are they asking for this?
Unfortunately, I don't know. They didn't have their planning report available to us, so I could not even think of a reason why they would want to remove that designation. There has to be a reason, but I just don't know what it is.
There is a meeting coming up, an open house type meeting coming up, I believe, sometime this month in Walkerton, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
But,
November 20th.
November 20th, yeah. So, anyone else have anything? I'd like to comment on this. Of course, I'm I'm on the Conservation Authority, but I think we need to be very careful about what we do with our wetlands, whether they're local or regional or provincial or federal, because that's where our water is recharged. And right now we don't have a water problem, but the day is going to come when we do. And if these wetlands have been destroyed or not been kept up or been protected, then there's going to be an issue with respect to quality of water. The other thing is, we as a municipality, I think, we've started a program, Trees of Minto, to try and reduce the potential for flooding in the town of Hairston if and when that storm hits. And these wetlands are very, very important. In fact, they're now developing wetlands in order to control flooding. And so even though it doesn't affect us directly, I think we need to our voice needs to be heard, that we're not in favor of this for those various reasons. I think I saw the map where these wetlands are currently located, and they're all basically out in the middle of nowhere, and I just don't understand why they would even want to bother, wasting the ink to put it on paper to change it. But anyway, that's a personal opinion. I mean, it's entirely up to the council how they see fit to deal with it. But even though they're just local wetlands, all wetlands are important. I think that's the bottom line, and we need to protect them.
I agree with Deputy Mayor Fisk, and I'd like to make a motion that we do not support, and we put in writing the fact that we do not support this one.
A seconder for that. Councillor Hembley. Any further discussion?
Go ahead, do that one, and a separate one to approve this report too.
Okay, all right, ready to vote on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? That's carried, thank you.
And we'll just accept.
I guess we'll, we need a motion as well to accept the report.
You'll need one?
Councillor Turton? Councillor Elliott? All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. And, yes, Terry, I guess. Yeah.
October, again, was a busy month, construction-wise. I issued 15 building permits worth about 1.6 million, which is higher permit number-wise than October of last year, and about touch under 1.1 million in construction value higher. So it was a good month. So to date, we're running about $1.5 million higher than our rolling 10-year average for construction value. So things are definitely busy. And yeah, we're similar in permit numbers. We're a little bit lower than the 10-year average, but still think we're doing good. Any questions on that one?
Everybody's happy with that report? Okay, thanks, Terry. I guess you've got another one here.
Do a motion for this one.
Oh, you want to do a motion? Okay, yeah. Can we have a motion to accept the building permit? Councillor Hembley, second by Councillor Turton. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. So who's doing this, Gordon?
Yeah,
Yeah, do you wanna
well,
introduce
I
this?
can
Yep.
start it,
Yep.
and if you have any questions. This is another one of these statutory reports to council. So basically, the building code wants to show that we're on like a cost recovery basis for building permits and not using it as a profit center and spending it in other areas. And as you can see, we're not doing that. 2013 was a little lower year for activity, and costs were still high. And we continually put into a reserve for future building department things. So we're showing that reserve has gone from 42,000 to 56,000. And in talking with CBO Kuipers, and as you can see on the previous report, 2014 is back into a positive position. With that being said, we would encourage at the next review that building permits be looked at, and we are meeting our costs on an ongoing basis.
And I have checked local areas for permit costs, and we're a lot lower than everybody around us. So we're still meeting our goal. We're not overinflating our costs. I do have the reserve, like Gord mentioned, for equipment life cycling. But I think at some point I'm going to have to look at, do a study on what our permit fees are versus cost of business for the various type of permits.
Councillor Hembley.
For your deputy, so per square foot, like how much less are we than top guy? Or even the middle guy, Terry, let's go with the average.
I would say probably at least 20 cents a square foot for a house. We're running, our square footage cost is 65 cents a square foot. I know over in Wellington North it's 85.
Yeah.
Our permit cost for a barn is currently running at 16 cents a square foot, or an agricultural facility. Over in Center Wellington, it's 65 cents a square foot.
So this is the place to be building right now.
So it's definitely,
Yeah,
definitely cheaper.
Yeah, I think we've had some builders come this way for that very reason.
Yeah. And that's my whole intent. Like, I don't want to increase the cost for the sake of increasing costs and having a huge reserve. I, at the same time, don't want taxpayers to have to pay for building code enforcement.
Well, we got everything here in the town of Minto, so I don't want a windmill here anyways.
I have no idea either.
Any other comments? Councillor Turton.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Fisk. So you give us a scenario of Wellington North down south in the
Yep.
county. How about the other way?
The other way, they're slightly higher.
Slightly.
It's been a while since I checked it out, but like we're talking like cents, so not a whole lot more when you're talking Howick way. But I know that we're definitely lower. Up further north, Tobermory way, I know there's municipalities that are a lot cheaper than us.
I bet.
But yeah,
Not very low.
well, in the same time, once again, don't want taxpayers to have to pay for everyone building barns and houses where it's, you know, a direct impact on what that specific project is.
I have a question, I guess I maybe address it to Gord.
Sure.
With respect to the $43,000 operating deficit last year,
Right.
you still transferred 14,000 into reserve, so that,
We still did that just to maintain consistency, but we think we're gonna be back in the black again. in
This
FY
year.
14, yeah. It just shows you, like, well, you go and you do your budget in the early part of the year, and it's not that hard to project costs, but it is hard to project revenue, so revenue was a bit behind us.
so if you hadn't put that into reserve, that 43,000 figure would have been 29?
Well, we would have been at 43. There's there. And, the year two, we would have had 15,000, so we're still adequate in the long range. But 2013 was one of those years where, no, we did not meet that objective, but we want to look at it in a
That's been the first
long-term.
time since the fees were last updated. The first time that we, that we were under budget. I did crunch the 2014, I just did a quick report just to see where we're kind of sitting. And from what I was showing, we were sitting around 165,000 for permit fees taking in this year. So, and that was to the end of October, so we're pretty much right.
We're kind of
right
throwing
where we
up a
should be.
yellow flag, not a red flag, but
Yeah.
it's just something to, you know.
And building department, I'm counting on that expenses are gonna be down, being that it's only me and a part-time admin staff versus part-time admin, myself plus part-time inspectors, so that's gonna help as well.
Councillor Caldwell.
How often are the fees reviewed?
The last time I updated them was, I wanna say 2009, 2010.
It was our first year in
Every
council.
5 years, right?
There's nothing mandated. I've been kind of just following, once again, don't want huge revenues, just kind of following what activity versus the expense to run the department. So I haven't seen it until 2013 that we should start looking at it and just see where we're at.
Councillor Elliott,
Can I ask something outside of the?
is it for Terry,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah.
That's fine by me.
Okay,
Yep.
I just,
Yep.
I saw downtown Palmerston,
Yep.
the Palmerston seemed to have a push again. And I also noticed across the road, there's a bunch of construction going on, new windows being put in, and I think it's the old jewelry store.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, so I just
Yep.
wondered at the Palmer when it would be inhabitable or habitable or, there were apartments going in there, correct?
The proposal is for commercial on the main floor and then 6 apartments up above. Did notice he's got lease signs up for the commercial units and rent signs up for the apartments. Once again, I can't give a set
A
date
date.
when it's going to be done. That's beyond my control, but he is calling me pretty much every week, just finalizing some details in terms of the construction so everything runs smooth. So I know he's working on it. He did mention it's only weekends, but
Yeah.
I do know he's plugging away at it.
And across the road, is that something new or is that,
That's just a facade improvement
Okay.
grant. I
Same
haven't
person.
been involved in that one,
same person?
so.
All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
So do a
We need a
on-
motion?
Yep.
Councillor Caldwell, Councillor Turton. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, Terry.
Finance.
Okay, we'll turn the chair over to Councillor Caldwell.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Fisk. The Finance Committee has 2 items on the agenda today. The first one is Treasurer and Accounts to October 24th. And I'll turn it over to Treasurer Duff,
Okay,
please.
thanks, Chair Caldwell. Another active period. We've been working on a lot of these capital projects there. Significant one is the 16th line culvert, which I don't know if the mayor's driven across, but another $231,000 to the contractor on that one. A final payment, I believe, on the Connecting Link project at the north end of Harrison for about $55,000. Debenture payment of $47,000, so that's all the major public works items. We also have a $115,000 progress payment on our Harrison Force Main project and That's the one going through towards the lagoon. We were just talking about the Clifford Ball Field. We had about $11,000 on light standards at that Clifford Park. $26,000 on the Hairston Town Hall, and you know that's been a project that we talked about for a long time. It's gone, and regular hydro bills and that too, but a fairly busy one.
Are there any questions on the report? We have one. Is the 16th bridge done, do you know?
I'm going to refer that to.
Not as of yet, they're supposed to take it, so once it's paved and railed
Thank you very much. So did Mayor Bridge have to walk over the bridge on the 30th? You'd made that promise. Okay, is there any additional questions? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
You mentioned one there about light standards for Clifford.
Yes,
Didn't they borrow the money from us to put those lights in?
yes, we're just, we're processing the payments for them, and then the Clifford Recreation Association is reimbursing us.
Okay.
But
Yes, yes.
Sorry.
Are you
Sure,
making a
Oh,
motion?
yeah, just a
or-
question, no, a quick question on the town hall in Hairston.
yes,
What's the latest?
going ahead, that's a bigger project than I think they thought initially, you know. I know the Theater Guild and that will be pleased once that's done. It's been needed for quite a while too, but, yeah, it's a challenge. You've got an old building and you're retrofitting it. Anyway, we have an experienced contractor, so.
Okay, any additional comments? Then the recommendation is the council of the town of Minto receives the treasurer's report dated October 24th, 2014, regarding approval of accounts and approves the town of Minto accounts by department for October 2014. May I have a motion, please? Councillor Hemley, seconded by Councillor Elliott. All in favor? It is passed. And the second item on the Finance Committee's agenda is the Treasurer and Tax Collector Section 357 application.
Okay, so we have a lot of properties, and some of them are multi-years, and I discussed with our tax collector some of the highlights. So some of them are simple enough. They're removal of a barn or a sewage tank. You may be asking about, what about the gross or manifest error? And that is where we had what we call split property, where somebody's done a severance, and one of the property owners built a new house, and the property corporation put the value of the house on the wrong property. So that is a gross or manifest error, and I think we've got it corrected now. Causes our tax collector a lot of work on those ones, but anyway. We've also had other businesses either go out of business or relocate, so the CT or commercial assessment comes off and it's normally replaced by residential assessment. Got the normal things of mobile homes coming and going. And we've also had, like, when we have a property that becomes a school, especially in the rural area here, we've got that going from RT or residential to exempt, so that comes right off the tax roll. And another one was a house fire, so they're the ones that get processed, and all negative, unfortunately.
Are there any questions? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Through you, Chairman Caldwell, I just, has this been an exceptionally busy year for this type of thing? I don't recall doing this many in the previous years.
Yeah, but I think it is exceptionally busy. You're right. And as you can see, some of these are ones that have been, 3 to 4 years in the making too, and they're just coming there. So part of it we're governed by priorities, I guess, of impact too, is if they can get to these old ones. Split properties always seem complex to actually administer. Like we pass our motion here and pass the severance, but to actually maybe get them out to, evaluate in the field what is the value of each remaining or retained parcel seems to be a challenging process. And yeah, you're right. I think we have had one.
I guess the other one was removal of mobile homes. It's all in one properties.
It is. It's the property that is in the business of seasonal homes and
Okay.
mobile homes, so
Okay.
you see that quite commonly.
Thank you.
Yes, my question is just a follow-up to
Sure.
Deputy Mayor Fisk. It does seem that they are quite large this year in dollar value wise as well.
Yes.
Is this a problem with the budget? Are we prepared for this type of dollar increase?
Yeah, you always make an estimate there, so it is hard to forecast, and, you know, like, there you've got that one that's 12, 13, 14, and you think, well, that should have happened in 12. Some of these, especially on that particular property, are offset to a great extent by omitted or supplementary assessment for the new buildings. So what you're seeing here is the removal of the old building, but we also have a new building, but this doesn't come on this report, it's or the
Okay.
Terry's building report too, so.
So to recoup the costs.
It's not all bad there, so, you know.
Okay, and are there any other questions? Then the recommendation is the Council of the Town of Minto receives the November 2014 report from the Treasurer and Tax Collector regarding Section 357 applications, and these applications be approved. May I have someone make that motion, please? Councillor Emily, and seconded by Councillor Turton. All in favor? Approved. Thank you.
I think the way we can recoup this cost is to eliminate the deputy mayor's job and one councillor position. Oh, no, they're not here, okay.
Public works.
Okay, Councillor Turton, you're going to assume the chair now?
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Fisk. Today on the Public Works agenda, we have a couple of items. So we'll get right into this business. Talk about the winter maintenance on the connecting links in a couple of our towns.
Thank you, Chair. These are two small reports. This one with the winter maintenance comes through every year. It's for the winter maintenance of Highway 9 in the village of Clifford and Highways 9, 23, and 89 in the town of Harrison. As you can see, there's been some increase. I would imagine that's because of last winter that they increased it. $400 for village of Clifford and $1,275 for the town of Harrison. So, is there any questions on these?
Questions on these, Deputy Mayor Fisk?
Actually, I think it says that the Clifford one is $400 less.
Yeah, $400 less, and increase in
Harrison is-
Harrison is $1,275.
And that's, my calculation is a 16% increase. Do they give you any explanation? They just send you
No,
the bill?
They just send you the bill.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's why, because last year was such a bad winter that they used a lot of sand
Yeah,
salt.
but Clifford went down 400 and they had the same winter as Harrison.
Yeah, that's right.
So it doesn't compute as far as I'm concerned.
Any other questions? So we just accept this, Brian, or did you?
Yeah, the agreement, it's received as the report regarding winter maintenance connect and links agreement. It considers approving two bylaws, one for Clifford and one for Harrison.
Okay, so any more questions? So you've heard the recommendation. Can we have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Caldwell, thank you. Councillor Elliott, all in favor of that motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you. Second item on the agenda today is the request for quotation for the roadside snow removal. And again, I'll ask our director, Brian, to enlighten us on this.
Yeah, this is a request, RFQ that we put out for the roadside snow removal. It's our first year doing so. And believe it or not, we only had one quote come back, and that was from Arbro Excavating. The hourly rate, as you can see, is $570 for all three towns, and the number of hours to do the clearing is 3 hours for Palmerston, 4 hours for Harrison, and 3 hours for Clifford. Other than that, if there's any questions.
There's a second page to that as well.
Yes,
so.
there is.
Questions on this? Councillor Elliott?
I know last year with the bad winter and everything, you sometimes get overwhelmed with the contractor that we had tendered for. Have we got backup if we need that sort of
Yeah,
thing?
we
Will
have-
we share locally, or what happens there?
Yeah, we have an equipment list where everybody applies to put their hourly rate in, and we go to that list, starting at the top.
So it's, and that, who would designate, who would?
That is out now, and we haven't got it back yet.
So Arbro would say, we're not gonna be able to fulfill our duties, we need help, or who decides that?
They decide it. If they have a breakdown of such and have no equipment in, they'll have to back up their contract with us. And if we need more people to come in, then we go to our maintenance list.
Other questions? So sorry, go ahead, Deputy Mayor Fisk.
Just, the impression I have under financial considerations is we've already spent $55,000 towards this already this year with, again, the winter we had at the beginning of this year.
That's right.
Do you know what we budgeted for this in total?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
I think when we look at the overall winter control budget, we pretty much spent it.
Yeah.
Yeah, still working on the ice storm assistance form. The way there's supposed to be a webinar on some tips as to how to complete this, and it was gonna be
you
October,
keeping-
but we
are you
haven't heard it.
Are you
I'm
keeping track of your hours, Gord?
stupid, and Lori too, yeah. So we're not, we hope there'll be some offset in that, but I'm certainly not gonna guarantee it, but.
Yeah, can you give us a breakdown of percentages then, what year?
Well, I just had to look it up again, and this is like 2013, Parlors 14, and if you remember, we budgeted 475 and spent 840. That was 2013. I don't think we're that bad in 2014, but it's not good for sure. Anyway,
Other questions? One thing, Brian, we still supply the patrol guy, right, when this work's being done?
Yes,
And we also decide when we're gonna do it.
correct.
That's under,
We have control of it, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so any other questions or recommendation then is that the council receives this public works report from the road foreman dated October 30th, 2014 regarding the roadside snow removal, Palmerston, Harrison, Clifford, and approves the hiring of Arboro Excavating 2001 Limited at the prices outlined in the staff report for the 2014-15 winter season. Thank you, Councillor Hembley. Seconder, please. Councillor Elliott. All in favor of the motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you very much.
So if we file for an unorganized town, then who's gonna plow our roads? Like just the government, or you will?
He'll be organized.
Yeah, I'll pass the chair back to our Deputy Mayor Fisk. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Turton. Other, yeah. Other business, disclose as additional item, Councillor Caldwell.
Yes, I'm sorry, Deputy Mayor Fisk, I did have one item for the additional. The Chamber of Commerce is hosting our annual holiday social on Monday, December the 1st at Harry Stone's at 7 p.m. And it's, please join us for socializing and networking with other business owners. Invite your business neighbors and help us get the holiday season off to a great start. Appetizers will be served and the bar will be open. And you're asked to come in through the patio door as the restaurant is not open on Mondays. And to bring a donation to the food bank, please. I'll hand these out to council and anyone present. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, thank you,
Councillor Turton.
Deputy Mayor Fisk. Today, as everybody's aware, we're having an audit by AET Group, Inc., and we met this morning with Scott Freiberger, and it's a DWQMS audit, and we're hoping for good results. This young man, he said he's not a consultant, but he is looking for conformity and non-conformity and also continuous improvement. So hopefully, and I have a lot of faith in our water guys and our staff, and I'm sure this audit will be very good. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'd like to say thanks to Belinda and council and staff for their 2 weeks ago. So we get together
Oh, yes.
at the Roundhouse. I really do appreciate that. It was nice to see. I didn't join up to get an attaboy or a party, but it certainly was nice to be recognized, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Councillor Turton.
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor Fisk. I'm wondering about that helmet. I think you should display it. The one that, yeah, the one maybe next, in two weeks from today?
I'll have to drop it off.
Get it done.
Get it done.
or Christmas party.
Christmas party.
Yeah. Okay.
You might need it sometimes.
Okay, I have a couple of items. One is Remembrance Day is coming up, and the town is usually represented at the two Remembrance Day services in Harrison and Palmerston, and I don't know that, have we decided who those people are for sure?
I think we have.
We have? We have that? Okay, that's taken care of. The other thing is, I noticed in the Wellington Advertiser last week, there was a notice of public consultation, and the purpose of this is they're going to remove 9 beds from Crescent Care in Hairston. They're building a new facility in Cambridge, and in order to be able to build it, they have to accumulate some beds. So they're taking 9 out of Hairston. And I talked to Lynn Jameson about it. Now, she's management, so she didn't seem to be too concerned, but I think the town, there is a meeting, public meeting on Tuesday, November 25th at 10 a.m. at the Harrison Public Library. And I personally think that the town should be represented. I guess it'll be up to council of the day to decide that, but I sit on the hospital board, and one of the red flags on the hospital board is the alternative care, which means that people, generally older people, have to stay in the hospital longer because there isn't a bed available for them in long-term care facilities. And that's one of the major red flags we have with our small rural hospitals here. Now they're going to take 9 beds away from us, so that's going to get worse, and it's going to make our hospitals look worse. It's going to be more cost for the hospital. So I think we need to be careful that we don't allow this to continue to happen, because I wonder if this is just the beginning. I suspect there's more money in these homes in the city than there are in the rural settings. So I think you need to be aware, and you might want to consider being present.
Just as a follow-up to that, Deputy Mayor Fisk, we had this discussion at the Chamber of Commerce meeting last evening. And, you know, one of the talks was, once you give up those beds, you'll never get them back. There is a thing where they're saying that Minto has not as long a waiting list by far, and in some cases even has vacancies. And those vacancies are being used by people in the city because they're vacant, and forcing the families to drive further, and that's one of the reasons that they're considering this. But I do agree with you that, you know, we're becoming an older generation, and it is something that is scary to, you know, just because we may not need them 150%, we certainly need them 100%. They're always full. It's not that we have vacancies.
There's people right now waiting at the Palmerston Hospital, I know, for that.
Exactly. So I agree with you that we should have town representation and hear our voice, and I think the chamber is behind that as well, that they will be responding also.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Fisk. We went through this a number of years ago with my parents, and I agree. I mean, it's the CCHC, is it, that kind of controls? CAC controls when people come to the hospital and where they go. And we were very fortunate that a bed came available at the Crescent Care here in town, and we would have been driving. And I mean, that's pretty devastating. It's one thing for your parents to go to the nursing home in the first place. The second thing, having to drive. So I agree. I mean, I think we should push back a little bit here.
And I know our business economic manager is already researching this already. So he's been chatting with that, and I think she intends to attend on the 25th for sure, and otherwise they're certainly welcome.
Who's making these decisions? Who's the ultimate say? Like, they're gonna say, oh, we're taking these beds and you can't do anything about it? Is that
Well,
the
no,
idea?
it's the Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
They have to get approval to do this, and they're building a business plan they want to build a new or add on to a facility, so they have to have beds to fill it. So there's some going out of Fergus as well. We're not the only one, but this is going to be 10% of the available beds up there. I talked to Mrs. Jameson about it, and I said, what about jobs? Oh, well, they won't affect jobs. Well, I have trouble with that. If you're cutting back 10%, I'm guessing 10% of the jobs have cut back too. And some of those workers will have to do more than they probably can do in a day just to get the job done. So she's willing to come I talked to her. She's willing to come to the next council meeting if that's the desire of the council, so leave it with you.
But like I said, I know what's going on. I just asked them a question, and like I said, well, why don't they take it out of the Waterloo region as opposed to Wellington County?
Well,
Like, I think, yeah, it'd be good that we have some representation at the meeting.
okay, is there anything else? That's all I have.
Regular council?
Okay, we'll move into, moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Hemley, that the Committee of the Whole convenes into regular council. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Moved by Councillor Turton, second by Councillor Caldwell, that the Committee of the Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in the Committee of the Whole. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Hembley, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that bylaw 2014-81, being a bylaw to authorize execution of an agreement regarding 2014-15 winter maintenance of Highway 9 with Integrated Maintenance and Operation Systems, Inc., be introduced and read a first, second, third time, and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Turton, second by Councillor Caldwell, that bylaw 2014-82, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement regarding the 2014-15 winter maintenance of Highways 9, 89, and 23 with Integrated Maintenance and Operation Services, Inc., be introduced and read a first, second, third time, and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Hemley, that bylaw 2014-83, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the November 4th, 2014 committee council meeting, be introduced and read a first, second, and third time, passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Caldwell, second by Councillor Turton, that the council of the town of Minto adjourn to meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Monday the 17th.